morning. Good to see you.
Hey, good morning. Good to see you as well.
So increasingly, the sell side's been arguing this is a self-funded growth story. It's a revenue story. It's a margin story. How much gets complicated by a sale of stock by Musk?
I don't think any. I mean, from a fundamental perspective, I don't think it changes. If anything, I think through this strategy, if we can call it that, Musk has taken off the narrative that would have been purported of something wrong in Tesla that's causing him to, exercise those options. So if anything, I would say it's a net positive.
What do you think the story is right now between Tesla's growth trajectory and the incoming wave of competition, some believe, from legacy OEMs? How much white space is there, and how much do you expect it to compress, if any?
Well, I think you're going to continue to see competition. However, having run a division of a Fortune 500 myself, I will say that what Wall Street still fails to understand, and most investors, is the role of culture. And the challenge that the traditional OEMs are going to have is not, can you build a product that's as good as Tesla, but how do you change the culture that enables the ability to keep building products as good as Tesla? It's not one thing that the company does, but it's all these little things that add up to a big difference, starting with whether it's the battery technology, the 4680 that they're bringing in, or the inverter using silicon carbide. There's a lot of things that allow Tesla to maintain an advantage, and I still see that white space is pretty far.
Jed, it looks to me like price targets on Tesla keep going up because the stock keeps going up. And it seems like that's not how it's supposed to work. So what do you have to believe differently about Tesla to have, say, a 1,400 price target on it versus, what seemed like an ambitious, say, 1,190 price target a couple years ago?
Yeah, I mean, remember, we were one of the first that came on with, I think it was, I put a price target of, I think, 500. And this was before the splits, where it looked at it as crazy and the bulls on Tesla. Yeah, it's a little bit, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy in terms of the stock moving up and you see things follow. I think the net takeaway is you either believe that fundamentally Tesla has an advantage in the market and the market is shifting over to EVs. And beyond that, it's an energy story, which is kind of our thesis. And if you look at it that way, I think there's still room on this one.
Hey, finally, Jed, on chip shortages and supply crunch, so there was some work last week done on October global sales, inching up just enough to make some argue that maybe autos would be the first industry to recover, not fully, but at least directionally start improving on supply. You agree with that?
Yeah, but I would say for Tesla, it really doesn't matter. I mean, one of the things that Elon did is reprogram the coding so that they wouldn't be exposed to the chips that were in shortage. That came out when Deese over at VW had Elon talk to VW. So we're seeing a lot of things that are just a bit out of the normal, and I think great for kind of leading this industry forward.